Well, hello, everybody. It's Monday, and it's time for my quick and easy card. Wow, look at all these cards in front of me. I wonder where they came from. Well, we have this great idea. This is actually Elaine's idea, and this is a great way to make quick and easy cards. Look at this. There's 16 of these cards here. Boom, done. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm not doing 16 cards now. I'm only going to do a couple. But once you get started, this is actually one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And if you cut it 3 by 3, look at that. Look how many you're going to get. And if you choose 2 colors out of your cardstock, this pretty DSP, it makes it really easy. Or actually, you could even choose more colors if you wanted to. But doing the 2 colors, which she did garden green and real red, this makes it great. Very easy to do. So, time to get out that trimmer. You haven't seen me use this on camera before, so it's time to get out that trimmer. I'm actually going to take it from ground zero. We're going to make something. Ooh, I know ground zero. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Janet. How you doing? And I'm going to use Holly Jolly Wishes, and I'm going to use Merriest Moment, because you know why? Because I couldn't stand that my card, if I only used a sentiment, would be naked inside. Ugh, couldn't do it. So I had to come up with another stamp set. But just goes to prove, if you take a little thought process and look through what you have, you can pick out a sentiment that would go with your designer series paper, whether it's a birthday, special occasion, Christmas cards, whatever it is. Come out with something that would go with it as an embellishment on the inside, so you don't have a naked card inside. So
would it work for a baby shower?
Could work for a baby shower. Could work for Mother's Day. Well, you're not going to do multiple cards on Mother's Day, probably. Well, unless you have quite a few of them. Maybe mother and ex-mother-in-law. One of those. But you could do birthdays. You could do any holiday coming up. You could do, of course, Christmas. All sorts of things. So we are going to start with our cardstock, and actually I am going to be using Tidings of Christmas paper, 6 by 6. I didn't want to do 12 by 12. I said, let's do 6 by 6. So, which it makes this really easy too. You can do definitely multiple cards because you're going to cut this 3 by 3. So you're going to get 4 pieces out of that per sheet. And there's normally, I think we figured out what, 5 or 6 sheets in there? 6. 6 of each design. So even if you did that, look how many cards you're going to get. All right, so out of this designer series paper, I decided I wanted to do cherry cobbler and soft succulent. So you can see those colors in there, right? So I'm going to cut this at 3 by 3. And now I've already got 4 pieces to start with. So see, we're already off to a good start here. So, well, I should have some Christmas music. Maybe I could sing. Oh, no, not Elaine. Elaine's going to start trying to sing. Woo, Lordy.
I have something to tell you.
Oh, Lordy.
Karen Gurkjohn on Saturday heard me singing with the radio. And she said, oh my gosh, Elaine, you have a beautiful voice. I said, you need to tell Cindy.
Oh my God. I don't think I believe that comment.
She did. I'm going to call her and tell her to call you.
All right. So you saw me score this. Now we're going to cut this in half. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I scored it at 4 1/4. So alrighty, there's 2 card bases. Done. Boom. Now I'm going to do my cherry cobbler. Same way. Score at 4 1/4, and that's what's nice about our trimmer is that you have a scoring blade, and then you have a cutting blade. And we're going to take this at 5 1/2, cut it up there, and there's 2 more. So now, see, already had your 4 card bases and your 4 designer series pieces. pieces cut. Now I want to layer the designer series piece. So since I cut that at 3, I'm going to do that at 3 1/4. So let's see. I think I'm going to do it this way. And we're going to do 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'll get that going. Oh, there we go. Get another one going. So I've got 2 of those already cut. And then I'm going to do 2 cherry cobbler. You could just keep going and cut your next layer on that. So I think this is already at 3 1/4. Yeah, it is. So I can do this one. You can take your scraps, so you don't even have to take a full sheet if you didn't want to, depending on how many cards you're going to make. This is a great way to use up some of your scraps that you have left over. All right. So there's those 2. Now the only thing we have left is our basic white. And we're going to do that for the front of the card as well as the inside. So we're going to cut this at 4. I'm going to see how I cut everything. And I always flip mine over because this is the edge that wasn't cut before. I always do that. Just so I have one edge that's not cut. And I'm going to cut that at 4. And then I'm going to do this at 5 1/4. Cut this at 5 1/4. And then I can cut these other 2, and then you'd already have all 4 pieces done. That's just one 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of paper. And it makes 4 or 2 on the for the front and 2 for the inside for my 2 cards that I'm going to be doing. All right. So now we have all our pieces done. We have all of our card bases done. We have our layers done. And we have our designer series paper cut with the second piece that's going to be your layer behind that. So I think I can push my piece over. My trimmer is done. Now we have the Stamparatus, and I already have this set up. This is what's great about our Stamparatus. I have my front of the card, which is going to say it's a most wonderful time of the year. And on the inside of the card, it's going to be of good cheer. So I already have those lined up, and I already have them set. I have my 2 pieces marked on here on my grid paper. So it's just a matter of sticking your basic white in there, holding it down with your magnet, and going ahead and deciding which piece you're going to stamp first. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to do my cherry cobbler first, and this is going to be for my outside of the card. And all you do when you line this up, you just set it down where you decide you wanted it. Now, what I did is I actually went and put my 2 pieces together, and then I went ahead and put my stamp down so I knew where that was going to lie and where I was going to put this layer on there. So I already kind of did it the other way first, just when you're designing. That's what you need to do before you set this up. And all I do is use my finger just to kind of press that down. And if you didn't get enough ink on it, it's very easy to re-ink it and do it again. So there is that one done. And I would have to change. I'm going to go ahead and change my color. I'm going to show you that's kind of an easy thing to do too. Now I'm doing it a little cheater way because sometimes when I'm just doing a small project, I use a paper towel. Shh, don't tell anybody. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my second one done. But if you were doing this on more of a system, then I would go ahead and do all my cherry cobbler first, and then I would go ahead and then do my soft succulent or whatever your colors you're choosing, and then do all of those at the same time also. So that way you don't have to do this and go back and forth. But since I'm going to make one of each color, I was going to just show you. It is very easy to do that. And boom, that color is already done. So now you have your cherry cobbler done and you have your soft succulent done. So there's the outside. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my piece for the inside. And I'm going to put that down in between my little spot. Oh, Bella's just telling everybody how she feels today.
How do you feel today?
And I'm going to put in Be of Good Cheer, and that's going to be here, and that's going to be in my cherry cobbler. We love our Bella girl. She's so cute. She keeps us on our toes. There we go. That one's done. See how easy this is? And then I'm going to just go ahead and do a little swipe on that with the color. Make sure I get that cherry cobbler off and change that over to soft succulent. It's very easy to do that. Now I would be using my chamois that we have, our, help me with the name.
Simple chamois.
Simple chamois, thank you. I wanted to do the proper name. But because I'm doing something very quick, I decided that, okay, I'll use my paper towel. Tips and tricks, you know, when you just do a few things, sometimes you don't want to bring out all your tools, you know. But here we go for that. That's my soft succulent, so I've got that done. All right. Oh, that one, I can probably press that just down a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now we have that. So we have all of our stamping already done. Now see, and if you were doing multiples of that, you would just keep going until you had all your stamping done. And then it's just a matter of putting things together. So here we've got our cherry cobbler, and we've got this piece, and we've got our base piece that's going to go underneath that. And we're going to take our trusty multi-purpose glue. And oh, look, and it is coming out. So there we go. We were worried we're kind of running low on some of our supplies because we've been making lots and lots of cards and things. So there we go. So there's that. And then we're going to go ahead and put our designer series paper on our other piece, our cherry cobbler. That's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And this is 3 by 3 with our designer series paper. And then we're going to go ahead and get this done. And all we have to do then is put, now you can add more things to this if you wanted to. You could put some embellishments in here. You could put a piece of ribbon behind here if you wanted to add a little bit more to the card. You could actually add even a second layer under the white if you wanted, and you could do one of the other colors in here. This is Evening Evergreen. You could do that. So you can always add more layers in here, but I was trying to keep this very easy, simple, but very pretty cards because, you know, this is a really great way to showcase our designer series paper. Because, you know, to me, a lot of our paper stands by itself. It doesn't need a lot of stamping around it or whatever. You can just show it off for the way it is. Now, I told you I couldn't stand the fact that I might be doing a naked card. Ooh, couldn't do that. Nope. So I decided that I had to have something to put inside. And because this is like leaves and holly and everything, I thought, well, wouldn't this be great just to use the Merriest Moments, which I did last week. Love this stamp set. So this would be a great way to go ahead and stamp that. And I'm going to go ahead, even though I glued that down, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this just in the corner. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead. Now, the little thing, it's got these little berries, and I can't stand the fact that this is bare inside. So I'm going to go ahead and just get those little berries in there and stamp that also. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now look at that. There's one card. Now in the green, I decided I didn't really want, because I was doing this because this is cherry cobbler. I wanted to do something else with the other one because we're using soft succulent. So I am going to actually be using, instead of using the poinsettia, I'm going to use these leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and, whoop, one thing I hadn't done, as I use my Stamparatus, I didn't have to bring out my pad, but now I do because I'm going to be stamping my leaf with soft succulent on the inside of this. Look at that. All right, so now let's go ahead and put our soft succulent card together. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside. And we're going to put that down. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and do the outside of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and layer my designer series paper on here, on the soft succulent. See, you could do this. You get everything cut. You could sit there in front of the TV and make lots and lots of these cards. If you were doing you wanted to get ahead on some of your birthday cards, this would be a great way to do that also. Just come up with a design that would be pretty and a sentiment. Do your squares, a little of your glue, and you will be ahead of the game. Sometimes that's the hardest thing. Sometimes is just stay ahead. So when you're ready to send something out, you already have something made. All right. So how long was that? Woo! We are at 2:17. So 17 minutes since the time I hit my button. We already have 2 completed cards made. And I actually have supplies for 2 more. So between that, it would probably take me maybe, another few more minutes to stamp it and glue it together. And before you knew it, you'd have 4 cards already done. So, like I said, this is a great way to make multiple cards. And wouldn't you want to receive a beautiful Christmas card like this? Sometimes it's nice to do a lot of the layers and a lot of the dies. Absolutely love to do that. But then there are times and there are ways that you want to do something quicker, and I think this is a great way to showcase a very pretty card without spending a lot of time doing that. So there is today's quick and easy card. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Now, let's see. Today's Monday. Wednesday's coming right up. What's Elaine going to do for Wednesday? I don't know.
I'm going to do a bag.
Ooh, a bag. Ooh, that'll be fun. I know we all need those. Believe me. You start putting those Christmas presents together, and before you know it, you're going, I don't really need a box for that. But if you knew how to make a bag, that's something that's definitely going to be good for you to know. So tune in at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. That's what Elaine's going to show us how to do. So I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Get all that Christmas shopping done. And remember, you got to get those Christmas cards in the mail by the 15th. So let's get cutting and stamping. I'll see you on Wednesday when we watch Elaine. Bye now.